What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the 143rd episode of Collecting Profit. Got my buddy with me as always, John Firestarter Breaks. John, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I hope everybody else had a great day. A little rainy here, but we could use the rain, so it's okay.
We had a little rain come through also, and don't know if it did any kind of delays to our building process that's going on up in North Carolina. So I didn't hear anything, but we will see. We had our inspection done, so they're able to move to the next phase. So
Nice.
moving along. So got some different things we want to talk about tonight. We try and do a recap of WWE after one of their PLEs, and as everybody knows, we had the first ESPN broadcasted PLE called WrestlePalooza from Indianapolis. 5 matches, which obviously we know, but that is the going rate, for what it is. I will say, we'll go over some stuff. But I will say that I think they're going to have to figure something out, because if they continue doing what they're doing, and they're going to expect a lot of people to pay $30 or more dollars per month for a wrestling fan. I'm not talking about the guy or the girl who loves all types of college sports, because I'll tell you, because like when you look at the app and stuff like that, like on Saturday when I was getting ready to make sure everything was working, with my app and stuff, it was, I forgot when I checked, but let's say at 2:30 in the afternoon, there was 29 different college football games I could have watched.
Right.
And there was a bunch of other college sports also. I do like the fact that, they have hockey, so I'll be able to watch a little more hockey when, and stuff like that if I want to. But from a wrestling perspective, I don't know, were you able to figure out a way to watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have my legal ways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So from that standpoint, I like I said, I don't know what they are. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what more they will think about doing, because I don't think they'll think about doing anything other than trying to figure out how to go ahead and make more money, than try and produce better programming.
Something watchable.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of people on different sites stating that they will never pay the $30 to watch pay-per-views. It's ridiculous. And this last pay-per-view, people are saying they'd be surprised if ESPN is talking to them about, hey, you got to put something better than this out, or we're just going to pull out of the contract. So I'm sure they have a way of getting out of it.
Yeah, and like I said, I just don't know what they're going to do. I honestly don't understand. From a TKO perspective, look, I get 100% why they did what they did.
Right.
Someone is going to go ahead and say, hey, we will give you $1 billion to broadcast 10 PLEs every year for, I don't know how long the contract is for, but let's say it's 5 years. So we'll give you 200 million a year for, you know, and it might not be $1 billion. I don't know what the number is. But to do that, to have 10, you know, PLEs. Then the other thing you have to think about from a standpoint of is where the other little crux that, you know, we really, you know, we really didn't talk about it that much. Did you look it up?
Yeah, it is a 5-year contract.
Okay.
And the reported value of the 5-year deal is 1.6 billion, an average of 325 million per year.
So 325 million. And right now all they have is 10 PLEs.
That's what it looks like. That's what let's see.
Which doesn't make sense because, well, no, it makes sense because they don't have NXT yet. So, you know, NXT has a couple, you know, and stuff like that that are mixed in where you don't have WWE. So they're paying
Covers
30.
all premium live events such as WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and others. So I don't know if they're going to get the Saturday main events too.
No, they signed a deal with Peacock to keep those on NBC. Okay. NBC Peacock. But let's just take the PLEs. And they don't have NXT either. All they have is, you know, basically the Raw/SmackDown, you know, PLEs. They don't have the other ones. So we're talking 10 PLEs. That's 32,500,000 every PLE that they are paying. And here's the other thing, and we didn't even cover it. You pay $30 a month if you're going monthly. Okay, you go yearly, so you're paying $300. And I know the price is going to change on the ways, but let's just use $30 a month as it is right now to watch 10 PLEs. So obviously that means you have at least 2 months that you probably don't have a PLE. So in reality, you're paying $30 a month. And you're going to have 2 months where you're going to go, oh, well, sorry. Now, add on, and I know this is going to, go, you know, be very bad. But you're going to foreign countries. And now, what are you going to do? Crown Jewel starts, if you're on the East Coast, Crown Jewel, which I think is about 2 weeks away, starts at 8 o'clock in the morning if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, it's 5 a.m. So can everybody get up at 8 o'clock? I mean, you know, on Saturday morning and you say, hey, you know, I'm going to, you know, hang out for the next few hours, you know, and stuff like that, you know. So you think about it. You may even have some PLEs that you can't watch.
Right.
You know, because, you know, your son plays a sport and, you know, you have to go. Your daughter plays a sport, you have to go. Something along those lines, right? So now, is it really 10 PLEs? I mean, you know, how many people in the I don't know I don't know if they can show the numbers, but hey, Kenneth, how you doing, buddy? Hope all is well.
What's up, Kenneth?
Like, I wonder how many people on the West Coast are going to watch it live at 5 a.m. in the morning.
They're saying it starts 7:30 p.m. their time.
Yeah. The poster says 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know, so you're gonna pay $30 to watch it on tape, to watch a replay.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're active on social media, you got to stay away because, you know, people are going to talk about it.
Well, you have YouTube that show the highlights and
right. So you literally have to shut all that off for the day to the or to whatever time it is, you'll be able to
See it.
watch.
I'm just looking up the Netflix deal that they made. That's a 10-year deal
Yeah.
with options for Netflix to extend the deal for an additional 10 or opt out after 5. $5 billion. I see them, some reason I see them opting out after 5 years. If Raw keeps doing what they're doing with it.
Well, I don't see the I don't see uh the draw. I mean, again, it's one of those things, where, okay, what are what are you getting? What are you getting for your money? You're I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as things go on. Um, but they got to figure something out, which leads us into this Saturday's show, which, to be honest with you, you know, was another, unfortunately, mid-level PLE.
Yeah.
And it's a mid-level PLA when this happens. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When one of the matches that was talked up so much, the Usos against Breaker and Reed, and now we found out that the rematch is going to happen on Raw.
Yeah.
So it was so big that you could put it up as a PLE, but the rematch, not so big. We'll throw it on Raw.
Yeah.
Right there. Um, when you look at it, from that standpoint. But we will go ahead and we'll review and go over what we had and everything. But when we talked about this one and everything, what were your thoughts on the Usos and the Breaker and Reed?
Way too predictable. And you could almost telegraph everything that was going to happen in the match. Besides for the accident with Jay, other than that, everything you saw it coming.
Yeah, which I think went ahead, and honestly, my humble opinion, I think that led to a quicker finish because Jay was bleeding bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all of a sudden there was no blood, then all of a sudden, bam! I mean, there was just a ton of blood and everything. But I think from that standpoint, I mean, I think it is what it is. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't. I gotta. I'm not. I doubt the bleeding led to a different outcome. But to me, again, I thought the Vision was going to win. It makes sense. I think everybody knew there was going to be some kind of little something with Jay and LA Knight, which there was. So now it's like, what I don't understand is this: you interject LA Knight into this, and now you literally have two storylines that you're trying to do. So is it the Usos against Reed and Breaker? Is that really a true storyline? Or is it LA Knight and Jey Uso? Or is it a Jay turning into the original, Roman tribal chief, like when no one liked the way he was? I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're trying to do with this whole thing. You have any idea what do you think?
I don't think they have a clue what to do with them because it looked like they were going to put them together as a tag team. Then now they're having that disagreement, and Jimmy is kind of befriending LA Knight, and it's just very it's like, where is it going? You know, they're not going to push Jay back to the top anytime soon. I don't see that happening. He might be a mid card, get an intercontinental or US type thing, but that's going to be it. If they don't put him, because I'd like to see him go back to because they were a hell of a tag team, but for some reason, I don't see it happening, at least not yet. I mean, I know there's, talk of Roman coming back for Crown Jewel possibly, but that would make no sense really there either.
Well, isn't he on the poster?
He's on the poster, but so is Naomi, which you know she's not going to be there.
Okay,
I think it's just a generic setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't think they know what to do with everything, and it's kind of staying from the standpoint of should they bother going ahead and really do anything? Should they really try and do anything with them as a tag team when they don't seem to give a crap about the tag team division anymore?
No. I think it would help the tag team division, not a ton, but a little bit with having them back. But if they do, it's not going to be a long run with it.
It's almost like with tag teams, they would be better off if they had only one tag champion, and that tag champion went
between the brands,
between everything.
When they decide to do that, I can understand with the main belts. Yeah, okay, I see that, but tag teams just go down to one. Universal champions. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. So again, I think that when you look at certain things, the one thing that out of all of these matches here, I think there's only one match really, and again, very predictable. I think there was only one match where something in the future could be, worth it.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. And then we had probably, it ended, in my opinion, this ended up being, the match of the night, but it didn't start off that way.
No, I was
Larkin? Pardon me?
Larkin's here. Just said hi.
Hey, Larkin. How you doing, buddy? This one, to me, it started off a little slow. It went ahead and picked up. You could really see how good these two women are as wrestlers.
Yeah.
They are very good. I think when you looked at what was happening in the upcoming weeks, to me, this one was a little, to me, it's funny. I thought it could go either way because they could have a storyline go either way with Io, of if she loses, something, with Asuka and so on and so forth. If she wins, still something, with Asuka and all this other kind of stuff. We know wound up happening, she winds up losing and Stephanie winds up winning. I hope this is one of those ones. Hey, Dami, how you doing, buddy?
Dom, how you doing, brother?
I hope this is one of those ones where, Stephanie goes ahead and, gets a run here. I don't want to see her. And I think based off of Monday night, we won't see it happen, but I don't know what her, when you get past Crown Jewel, because we know Crown Jewel is champion versus champion. When we get past Crown Jewel, I don't know who would be her opponents as you're looking at it, but overall to me, happy with this one. I think everything, went okay and everything. what were your thoughts on this one?
It was probably one of the best matches of the night. I definitely see something happening with Io and the Kabuki Warriors and all that. With I forget who's the other one with Asuka. I can't think of her name.
Kyrie Singh.
That she's so conflicted. I think there's going to be just something that happens there.
We'll get to that, Lockin. Yeah, so I think so having her, her losing Saturday, you understand now where the path is for her because of Monday Night Raw.
Right.
Of now her and Rhea are going to team up and have something with the Kabuki Warriors go on.
Yes.
That takes us, I don't know if they would fight at Crown Jewel. They could do a little something at they could put them somehow on Survivor Series, but to be honest with you, that's not a Survivor Series worthy match. That's a Monday Night Raw match. So because it's definitely more of a Monday Night Raw match, that means it's probably going to get on a PLE.
Right. Exactly.
From that standpoint. But my thing is I hope Stephanie goes ahead and gets a run. And I think the other thing is that, that's true. So Rhea has to go there. So I can definitely see, a tag team match coming. They haven't announced anything yet. I think they've only announced like 3 matches so far. So obviously they have, they'll start announcing more. But I think it's funny, like whoever won this match, I think it automatically, like this Friday night, 2 nights from now, we have on SmackDown the triple threat match for the women: Tiffany, Nia, and Jade.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, that what I was saying, is that nobody wants to see Stephanie against Jade. Nobody wants to see Stephanie against Nia. So it makes everybody believe that Tiffany is going to win. Now, maybe they swerve and they change. I don't know. But I think Stephanie versus any one of those 3, in my opinion, there's only one that could give her a good match, and that would be Tiffany. And I'm not sure how well of a match
Right. That would
could
be.
give her.
Yeah, I don't think any of those people they pick any of those really is just not going to match up with her very well.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. Championship match. Your thoughts?
Why? What was the purpose of this match? It did nothing for either of the characters. Moving forward, it did nothing. Knew Cody was going to win. They weren't going to put the belt on Drew, that's for sure. At least not at this point in time. It was a stupid match to have.
And I think Crown Jewel was another one of the. I think that Crown Jewel was another reason for it. Because WWE on one of their moving Crown Jewel to Australia. The way they're doing this now, champion versus champion for the belt, and that no one gets, but you get a ring.
Yeah.
Who would you want to see?
You don't want to see Drew and Seth, that's for sure.
I don't think that's a good fight, So we'll and at least the good thing with Cody and Seth is we do have some history, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
were not happy.
They weren't too happy. But again, and then people are like, "Oh, expect surprises." This was the one match where I thought people thought you could have that surprise. You could have Randy come out and
I was expecting it
and do something, right? Either cost Cody or help Cody to at least do something. But this is why this Crown Jewel and the champion versus champion, the thing, it sounds great. It in theory it might be great, but the problem you have is you take those 4 champions and you in reality you kill storylines for them, because now anything you're going to do, and then you're going into, Survivor Series, which is War Games, which is that type of thing. So what are you going to do? You're going to have Cody against Drew as the rematch and not have them in the Survivor Series match. Usually the men's Survivor Series, match is the last match of the night.
Yeah.
So what are you're gonna pull? So, Crown Jewel, great. I think, but honestly, to me, it shouldn't be near one of the big, PLEs. And I know people are going, "Oh, Crown Jewel is becoming." They were talking about it, that we have the big six, and Crown Jewel is one of the big six because you have Rumble and Elimination Chamber, and then you have Mania and SummerSlam and Crown Jewel and Survivor Series, the big six and stuff. And I just don't see it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I mean, it's cool and everything, but it does nothing for the character stuff.
No, it doesn't. And the only thing that would make sense if Drew won would be if CM Punk won. They had that feud again, but
Right.
other than that, none of this makes sense. This match just didn't make sense.
Yeah, and you had a great point of the why. I mean, it literally was just a filler match.
It was literally a filler match, I believe. It was done so quickly.
True, Lockett. Survivor Series really has not been what it should have been over the year. Well, they definitely have changed it a lot from what it was.
Yeah.
And then we had this match, the mixed tag. You go ahead. And I mean, I have my own opinions on it. You go right
There
ahead.
were points that were good in during this match, but very few. I mean, I kind of called it what they were going to end with her being put in the Black Widow to win it, but it did have some interesting points, but still not as good as it could have been. But there was some interesting things that happened during the match and stuff, but all, again, predictable of who was going to win.
Right. To set up
the AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the title.
Right. And Seth versus Punk. I have always, and I don't necessarily think it's going to change anytime soon. I have always hated these matches. And I hate these matches because there is no flow. Any kind of flow that starts gets immediately disrupted when a tag is made.
Yeah.
Because as soon as CM Punk tags in AJ Lee, Seth has to tag in Becky. And it immediately stops everything. There's no continuation. There isn't that I beat you up. I'm getting a little tired, but you're in my corner of the ring. So I tag my partner who's been fresh, and he comes in and he or she comes in and then beats the craps out of you for a while I catch my breath.
Right.
And that type of stuff. So I don't particularly care for these because they, like I said, they have no no flow or anything like that. Well, there's some good things, sure. I think once again WWE, and I think I think you can go ahead and lock in. Unfortunately, I think you can take the word probably out of your statement there, and just say will be bad.
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, Chuck, how you doing, buddy? I think AJ, it's been 10 years, and I know you don't really have much of a choice as to what you could do for her, right? Like you can't have her come in and go up and start to, hey, you're gonna fight Maxine Dupree, and then from there you're gonna go to B-Fab, and then from there you're gonna go to Michin and build up your.
She'd never settle for that.
Right, knock off some of the ring rust. So you're kind of forced to throw her into the big end of into the deep end of the pool, right? You're forced to throw her in.
I mean, I like the build up they did to the match. I mean, it was all obviously predictable, but it gave a little bit. But I think this would have been better if they split them up and they had AJ going for the Intercontinental and then Punk going for the title, and that it would add one more match to the list. Big deal, and it'd be a better pay per view, somewhat.
Well, I think what this does is, this match makes sense. It's a good way to get AJ back in the ring.
It is.
Have a little bit of it, have a longer match because Seth and CM could go at it for a while, right?
Yeah.
Give her a breather here, give her a breather there, let her get back in and everything, which makes a lot of sense. But the
Kind of
truth
like
of
a
the matter,
protection match, almost, really, to keep her kind of protected because they
Yeah.
weren't,
yeah,
she didn't take a lot of big falls.
I mean, it's kind of sort of like what they did with Randy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When
Yes, Chuck, it did.
Yep, 100%, Chuck. Yes, sir. You're not wrong,
Now,
right?
real quick before you get in, I got to ask Chuck if he paid the $30 to watch it on ESPN. I'm just curious. So go ahead.
Or Lawkin, did you?
Yeah, just curious.
But to me, it was one of those things, where it was good to go ahead and have them. I mean, look, good to see her back. Fine, no chance. Like Vince would say, you got no chance, no chance in hell. I was dumb enough, I did, but I have different reasons for doing it.
Okay, what do you think? No, Dom's going to say something.
Yeah. If he's, the Mets are losing 6-0 in the 5th inning, so he might. No, Lawkin did not watch either. Or no, you didn't pay. So all right.
All right.
I mean, you did not pay. Did you guys watch?
Yeah, there you go. I said I did,
but
legally.
But overall, I mean, I think again, you're not gonna have. It would have been hard to have AJ come back and have her lose. What are you gonna do? Once again though, Chuck watched. Once again, it was something that we had talked about. John is that here we are again. They do it. I don't know what's going to happen with Nikki Bella, but they do it with Nikki Bella. They bring Nikki Bella back, and all of a sudden, she's right with she's right on the main roster. She's right, being on TV and all this other kind of stuff.
Yep.
Supposedly not available on YouTube or UTV. Oh yeah, with football, I get it. And now AJ Lee, another one.
And
10 years away.
What happened to Nikki? She just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm not sure if the Liv Morgan thing was like, I don't know what was supposed to happen to her. I don't know where her reign was supposed to go. I mean, what are you gonna, probably you're gonna have her keep going up against Chelsea Green? I mean, from that's when she had the title. But again, it's like you bring in AJ Lee, and again, to go ahead and soothe the egos of these other big three here, and another 2 roster spots, not necessarily taken from anybody down NXT, because I don't know who from NXT really should be up, but it takes away just TV time from other women who have been there a lot longer.
Yes.
But to your point, I agree. Predictable as to who was going to win. It was only a matter of time. You knew
who was going to win the match for him.
You just knew the way that was going to be, because what was the chances that they were going to have CM Punk go ahead and pin Seth Rollins? It didn't make any sense to me.
It basically kills AJ Lee at that point if they do that, I think.
Yeah, you had to try and make AJ Lee look, for lack of better words, strong.
Yeah.
And we had the match that led off the show, and like you said about, it's not why the match was. My question of why is Why did you let it? Why did you let it happen the way it happened?
So from what
What?
I have read, this was John Cena's idea to have him squash him.
And I get it. Okay. But why? Well, what are you doing? I mean,
Is it setting up for him? And maybe this is what's setting up for that photo that we saw for Survivor Series. That's the only thing that makes sense.
that is the only way that it makes sense, especially having Paul Heyman come down and introduce Brock. Yes, I agree with you there. But the squashing does nothing. Like, what? How much more of a beast does that make Lesnar look?
It doesn't. It doesn't do. It doesn't do anything for either of them.
It doesn't do anything for either of them.
Because everybody knows he's already still an incredible human specimen. That's all I'm going to say. Now he's lost a little bit, you can tell in his body, but I mean, he's still, for his age, he's.
Hey man, for picking up those cows and doing all the other kind of shit. I mean, he looks, yeah, he looked really good, and stuff like that.
He
But I
didn't
just
miss a
don't,
step.
I just don't go ahead. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't understand. Again, I don't understand. The squashing does nothing. It did nothing for either one. I mean, and I don't know. Look, if this is the way Cena wants to go out, okay. Um, I don't, the issue you have is, there's probably no,
I don't
yeah.
know about that, Chuck, because he does do a lot of farming, so he can stay pretty built being doing farming. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. And he does a lot of the work.
Yeah,
Um, but again, like I said, for me, like, I just don't, obviously there's nothing for any kind of build up for Cena, right? All we're doing is we're building up. We already know. And the problem you have here is um, there's really no build up for any other opponents that he may have,
yeah.
because he has 5 shows left and they're all announced. He's at Crown Jewel, Monday Night Raw in Boston, Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series, and then Washington, D.C. Right. You don't know how to use them anymore. You don't know how to use anyone. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even build up anything.
No, because even with Lesnar, even if you do war games, how are you building that up with having these two involved in it? With John only having really 2 actual TV spots left.
The only way you build it up is to have him go ahead and beat the crap out of him at Boston and beat the crap out of him in New York.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have the other guys that would say, hey, we're going to talk to Cena about having him on the team. But I mean, even that.
But how do you bring them,
Yeah.
how do you bring that 5-on-5 together? I don't know.
My
So
question is, he only has the 5 appearances left. But would that include a via satellite type of deal? Like if he's not there and they're asking if he would join, say the War Games group for the men on that one side, could they use him as a quick video recording saying, yeah, I'll join you guys or whatever? That doesn't really count as a in-person showing. So that's something that could probably be in their limelight of things.
yeah. No. I don't know. To me, you said you were going to have 5 appearances. So unless you do something, yeah, I don't disagree. Hey, we're going to bring Cena in on satellite to do something, but there's nothing, there's no build up whatsoever. I don't know what they're going to do. It's 5 appearances. Will he? You would think the only way he gets a match, all right, so he got AJ Styles. All right, so now we have 4 dates, no other announced opponents.
Right.
You can throw open challenge. Hey, whoever wants to come out and wrestle, You do something along those lines.
And like you said, you could have where uh, Lesnar comes out and he ends up Cena takes him out. Not takes him out, but beats him up.
Yeah,
Is the
but
only thing that does make sense to try to build something.
but it did nothing. It really has not done anything. And Lawkin makes a great point. They wasted Edge. Here's a guy out with what they thought was a career-ending injury, where people were saying, you continue to wrestle, you may never walk, and they screw up his point. They don't even try Christian. They've done zero with Julia. Julia is going back and forth between me, Chin, and BFAB, which is freaking ridiculous
Yeah.
that she's at that level, which is actually stupid. I mean, it makes zero sense whatsoever. Yeah, Fatu. I think we mentioned something about that the other day.
Yeah. Where is he?
Where the hell's Fatu been? LA Knight. They build, and then what? You don't put the belt on them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, here you are. I think we talked about that. Here you are. You watch them. They're feuding against each other, and when they go to commercial break, they go to the Slim Jims commercial with LA Knight and Jey Uso in it, being buddy buddy.
Yeah.
You know,
I was like,
they
what
move.
in the hell is
They,
going on?
they move. You're right. They move slow with Breaker, Solo, and that whole thing. They basically have buried him. And you're right. They went ahead, and AJ, they didn't do much with him. The Shinsuke Nakamura is the one that is the most surprising, because that guy is. You look at some of his stuff from New Japan and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I
Fatu
hate to say
is
it. The
back
only
October 3rd.
what?
Fatu is due back on October 3rd, according to their.
What did he claim to mean to be hurt?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just it shows him on the schedule for October 3rd. So.
Yeah. Nakamura, the only thing that I could think about for Shinsuke, to be 100% honest with you, is the language. That's the only thing that I could think of.
Yeah.
Would be the language. Because he's not even as close as Asuka and Io is.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I think that's why they put what's her name with Julia, to go ahead and have someone, for talking and stuff. But I mean, they have so many talented wrestlers that they've wasted them. Okay, that's why it gets me, like Jasmine Nix left, who her real last name is Gentile, if you didn't know. She left. They offered her a contract. She said no. She wanted more money. She's going someplace else. Now, not saying that she was really good, but you know what? There's just another talent there who's just said, you know what? No, nah, I don't like what you're doing. I'm hardly in the ring and stuff like that. And that's the thing that gets me is you know I sometimes I just wonder, did they go out and sign JC Mateo just so AEW couldn't?
That's possible.
I mean, are they really? I mean, is TKO that afraid of AEW? Because if they are, that tells me they're not watching AEW.
Yeah, because I still think, even with, they're about equal to me right now. I've seen a couple AEW like highlight shows and stuff. With the way WWE is being run, they're kind of similar now. I mean, WWE was up above them. Now they've kind of sank to like equal to them.
Yeah, I mean, everybody complained. There's so many people who had claimed, oh, the reason why you have a problem is you have Tony Khan, who's a fan. He's not really a booker, and blah blah blah. And they just throw matches together. That sounds familiar. They really don't build up any storylines. That sounds familiar.
Are they brothers?
AEW is crap. Who?
The Cons, the one that owns AEW, and the one that's in.
No.
I think they would be the way that they're running things.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get a chance to watch enough AEW. I would like to watch more of it. Um, their pay-per-views are supposed to be very, very good. Again, how true that is, I don't know.
I mean, I think you're
But
going to see AEW make a move, something similar to uh, WWE with some sort of like not ESPN, but maybe they'll take over on Peacock or one of the other stations somewhere along the line here.
they have to. They yeah, All In was awesome. That's what I'm saying. Their big pay-per-views, they go ahead and they put on some incredible matches. I will give them that.
Yeah.
I've seen some highlights of them. I've watched, twice. I've gotten the pay-per-view and I've watched. Um, but I mean, so from that standpoint, they are, they do some good stuff. Overall, again, I don't think they're that much better. I think what makes a WWE, let's say, considered a lot better is name recognition.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They have Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, right? They have those type of guys, and you have John Moxley, and a lot of people don't like John Moxley. But you have Hangman Page. No one really knows Hangman Page. No one really knows MJF. You know what I'm saying? From that,
Darby
standpoint.
Allin or.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Monet, look, yeah, they're making her the best running. They need to stop with this hardcore. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that they definitely have to do is they do go very hardcore, a lot of blood and all this other kind of stuff and a lot of crazy ass stuff going on. And I agree with you there, Larkin. With TKO pricing families out, if AEW went a little more, you know, a little less gore of the blood and that type of stuff, they could get, more people to go and everything. I was listening to uh what do you call it? The wrestling show on Sirius XM and stuff, and they were saying stuff like, you know what Tony Khan should do? It's too he probably can't pull it off for Crown Jewel, but he could definitely pull it off for Royal Rumble. He should definitely, and they said he should definitely do it in 2027 with WrestleMania. He said Khan has enough money. He should put on a show where all the proceeds get given to charity to combat, to kind of go against, hey, yeah, one wrestling promotion decided to stay here and have one of their big events, here. Now, look, they've had All In London also, so it's not like they don't go overseas either.
Right.
But yeah, but stuff like that. So I don't know. I think I think sometimes when I look at it, I just don't understand, what's going on. Like I said, I just cannot believe that WWE or TKO would be that scared. There were rumors coming out that WWE was buying bought a crap ton of tickets for All In, or for other shows that are on TV. They basically eat the tickets so that it looks like, there's nobody there. There was some
Right.
rumors going on about that.
It,
I don't know.
it feels like they're trying to set up not that it's going to happen, like a Ted Turner deal where they go back and forth and WWE shows up there, AEW shows up over here. I mean, it just feels like they're trying to do something like that.
Yep, they would. Most definitely. They have good talent there. they have talent that a lot of people don't know about. Like if you're, you know what I'm saying, you're there are the casual wrestling fan who has just been a WWE type person, right? It's going to be hard for them to go ahead and get the hardcore guy,
Yeah.
girl, fan, WWE fan. They're not going to go over.
Because even
But
even back in the day when WWE had blood and like Attitude Era, it wasn't nearly what AEW has.
no,
Even in the
agreed.
hardcore matches,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, definitely agree with that. No, you're 100% correct. But for the fringe fan, what makes it a little more is that, no one really, I mean, again, a casual person doesn't really know Kenny, Hangman Page.
Yeah.
And they probably don't even know Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
They probably don't know the Young Bucks. They probably don't know a bunch of. Now, they know Claudio Castelloni because, hey, he was Cesaro.
Yeah.
They know John Moxley because, hey, he was Dean Ambrose. And they know Christian and Edge and FTR because, hey, well, I should say they know Cope because he was Edge and he was Christian, and and they know FTR because they were the Revival, right? So there are those things, but the people that they don't know, about a lot of them won't know Luchasaurus. They won't know what is his name, Jack Perry, right?
Yeah.
The casual fan, but they'll know WWE. They're the guy, they're the wrestling fan who would watch Raw every now and again, and stuff like that. So, yep, that's what I said. I mean, I think if they could figure out a way to get them more in that $30 to $40 range rather than whatever it is, 50, 60, it may work and stuff, or get more people to buy them. Say, hey, if you have HBO Max, we have a deal with them. If you're a member, it only costs you $20 to buy the pay-per-view. You log in through, the app to watch our pay-per-view, and it's only going to cost you $20.
Right.
From that standpoint. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, but unless the truth of the matter is this: unless they are able to get to the level that WCW was, to where WWE was looking and going, "Oh crap, man, we have to get better because they're better." So we'll see. They are good value, but they need to get more new people in. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. The wrestling fan. I mean, I'm in a wrestling chat, and everybody, these, real, I mean, people who, a lot more people there, a lot more into AEW and doing both of them. Hey, Big John, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, John?
They go ahead and they were watching All In.
Yeah.
They watched All In, and which led up right into WrestlePalooza. They're a hard, not hard. They're more hardcore ish, wrestlers. I'm sorry, wrestling fans.
Yeah.
People have been watching for a long time.
I know we touched on it a little bit either last night or last week about them buying TNA.
WWE?
Yeah. Did you notice that TNA crashed NXT?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of puts that light right there that's their plan, is to eventually buy them, I think.
Yeah, and I think it would, like, I don't understand that. Like, if you're a Dolph Ziggler, if you're those WWE people who got fired and you went there, How the hell would you feel about
I
it?
know, right? Because that isn't, or he might be on AEW. Zach, the old Zack Ryder. Is he on AEW or is he TNA?
I think I think he is still independent, but I think he's doing stuff with the TNA.
Okay. Now, I was looking up something. This goes back to whole Cena. The one person he has not had a match against, well, there's a couple that they list. Goldberg being one of them, which that's never going to happen.
Yep.
But they list Kofi Kingston. I cannot see them putting Kofi as his last match to put Kofi over because they kind of overlap each other's careers. So I mean, Cody's not exactly a young buck to pass the torch to. I don't think. If that's the plan.
Oh wow, that's crazy, Lockin.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. There were some people who said Dom was going to be his last match. There are still a bunch of people who believe it's going to be Gunther.
and like you said, there's been Chad Gable's been listed, Matt Hardy, and Bobby Roode. Well, Bobby Roode's not going to happen. He's backstage doing whatever he's doing there. Shane McMahon was listed. We know that's definitely not going to happen. Would be interesting though. But I'm kind of with Chuck. I really think it'll be Dom.
Yeah, I mean, Dom, the ultimate. You have Dom beating him on his last match and everything. I mean, it does make sense. Gunther makes sense also
Yeah.
from a standpoint of, look, I took out your old hero who was supposed to be Peppa and Goldberg. I just took out, I just took out the greatest of all time. So guess what? I'm now the greatest of all time.
The only, like I said, the three that I'm thinking
Oh
of.
gosh,
No.
God, please no.
It'll either be Dom, Gunther, or The Rock. One of those three is going to be his final match.
I just don't.
Because there's been talk of The Rock coming back. So, from what I've been reading and dirt sheets and stuff. Yeah, right. He wants to put over the young talent. That's what makes me think leaning more towards Gunther or Dom. But the way WWE does stuff, to finish that whole story, because they only had 2 matches, they need a tiebreaker with The Rock. So that I could see. Plus, with the storyline they had, they never really finished it. John just went, what do you call it? But
I mean, starting when? I mean, he wants to put over. So basically, he just wants to put over young talent in his last match because he didn't do it at WrestlePalooza. He's not going to do it at Crown Jewel.
And he didn't do it with.
Right. That's true. The Rock did lose so much weight. I don't know if he's going to want to go out there not looking all, jacked up.
He did, but there's another picture where they shows him like lost a lot of weight and then where he bulked up against. I don't know what to believe with all this stuff, but it would make sense for Dom or Gunther. But he did not put over Logan Paul,
which is good.
Which I'm glad he didn't. But I'm just saying, that's maybe he'll put over a Jelly Roll.
God no, I don't know. I mean, it really is interesting. I mean, to me, the one that makes the most sense is Gunther. But again, it's one of those things of, so what are you going to do? You're going to have, Gunther beat him up, chop the hell out of him, make his chest all red, beat him up bad and stuff, and then go ahead and have John, talk for half an hour.
Right. I mean, you'd have to see, if that's the case, you're going to have to see Gunther here soon to start some sort of story. I mean, does he come in and interfere the AJ match? Just possible.
Who?
Gunther. Because every PLE they've said Triple H be looking for surprises. The surprise in WrestlePalooza was, I believe, his wife getting inducted. That was that surprise with The Undertaker. He looked
That's true.
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Paul did look good.
That would be good, yes, because they
Yeah.
did end up kind of paying tribute to each other in the pay-per-views. Cena did the spear, and Edge did the five knuckle shuffle. So kind of that would be an interesting one too.
Yeah.
Or maybe they bring back Daniel Bryan to have the last match, but I doubt it. He's not under contract right now, so it's possible.
No, but he's still working for them because he was on the All In pre-show on YouTube with them. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be one of those things. Again, it's appearances. So does that mean he's going to? I gotta believe he'll wrestle in Boston
Yeah, that kind of would make sense.
and he'll win there.
Whoever it
Go
is,
to
yeah.
Madison Square Garden. I believe he'll win there. If he's part of a War Games or a prototypical Survivor Series match, I don't think it matters one way or the other if he
No, but
wins or he loses,
I
right?
kind of see him on the winning team there for some reason.
Yeah. Again, what are you trying to go ahead and and set up?
Right.
I think if we get any kind of if we get to Survivor Series and we have a surprise there, which to me the only real surprise would be Gunther coming back, causing John Cena to lose that Survivor Series match, which would then set up Gunther Cena for December.
Or they do something like they did with CM Punk. Comes in at the end. Gunther comes out and stands there and basically fingers out Cena, maybe. I don't know. There's a couple different ways that could work, or it could be a substitution for the other team and just continue attacking Cena in the ring. And there's a myriad ways they could do it, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. It's scary, but I just don't know where they go.
Yeah, because if they make Brock Lesnar his last match, I'm going to be pissed because that's just going to suck. It make no point to put him over at all. But he did say he wanted to go out with the title. So does that, make Cody his last match possibly? And he takes the title and kind of walks away, or
he fights Cody 3 times in 1 year.
It's a 1-1 match right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I think it would not surprise me if what happened the way the match came together for Crown Jewel. I mean, it really was, there was on X, there was a lot of hashtagging Cena versus, Styles and all this other kind of stuff going, and a lot of people posted about how that's what they wanted to see on social media. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. And there are people who say that that's, that came about that way. I mean, I don't know.
Or do they set it up where you see he's on SmackDown, right? He's on both shows, but like maybe one of the general managers says, "Hey, you're going to do a match on Saturday main event, and it's going to be a mystery opponent." That would make more sense to me because then you don't know who he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, not a non-announcement. Okay, John, you said you don't want to go ahead and pick your opponents and everything. Guess what? You will find out when their music hits.
Yep.
On Saturday night, who your final opponent is. Yeah, I mean that could go ahead and that could work. That could definitely work. From that standpoint.
But anyway,
we'll see.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting and stuff. From that standpoint.
Do you think we get more matches than 5 at Crown Jewel? I personally don't think so. Because the 2 matches you're going to have. The 2 title matches, that's a given. And the Cena match, Those 3, You got to have 2 others. Which, are they going to put Becky and AJ there that quickly? I think that'd be more of the Survivor Series type match, but
well, trying to see anything.
Because I can't see him having more than 5, unless ESPN says, "Hey, your next pay-per-view better have more matches and better ones."
Well, if you look, hey, Dami, welcome back. If you look right now, for sure, men's crown jewel, Cody Seth. Women's crown jewel, Stephanie, winner of Friday. Cena, Styles. There's 3. The tag match of Io Sky, the Kabuki Warriors against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
That you figure that has to happen. So there's your 4th one, right? There's no way, at least in my opinion, there's no way they don't have Rhea in the ring in Australia.
Now,
right? So
the only other thing that would make sense there would be a men's tag team match for the titles, maybe.
That, or we haven't seen Sami Zayn in a while.
True.
I don't know if they would go with another women's match. Would they put 3 women's matches and 2 men's match? Because would you do, could you potentially? I think it would be too soon for Becky and AJ. I don't know if they would put Julia there, so that and we know they don't give a crap about the women's tag match, so that would make sense.
But I can see them doing that, but like you said, or do they put a Dom defending his title against, say maybe
Rusev?
a Fatu or?
Well, he's going up against Rusev right now. That's what's going on there. So you don't even know what's going to happen.
No, that's happening. What, Monday night?
That's it's a Monday Night Raw match. So what are you going to do? You're going to take it from Raw, then what? You're going to have a rematch at Crown Jewel? Who the hell wants to see that again?
No.
Right. So to me, Sami Zayn makes a Sami Zayn championship match makes would make the most sense. Well, I think Chuck, everybody. I think the idea would be Asuka and Asuka and Kyrie against Io and Rhea.
It's in Australia. She's from there.
Because it's in Australia, you get Rhea in that, and that they kind of set that up on Monday.
Yeah,
with that stuff, so you could see that part. But again, if you're gonna have another title on the line, again, I don't think they would do Dom. That doesn't make a whole bunch of sense.
Could they possibly have Judgment Day versus the Usos? They put them together and do a match that way. But
again, if
sense, but only because you have what's going on between the Usos right now.
Be a massive swerve.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, again, but it's one of those things. You put them in there, then if they become if they beat the Judgment Day, right, and they are then now the tag champions, what are you doing with LA Knight and Jay?
Yeah.
So I think from the least complicated part would be your 5th match, Sami Zayn and maybe against Solo. Solo going for getting his rematch.
Could be.
John Cena versus Animal.
Yeah, I don't.
Hello, John Cena.
That would be a good match because they have been having Solo via video
Right.
talking about it.
So that could be your 5. And my lord, that's
The only other one that could possibly, but they haven't even worked on that, would be like a Randy versus Dom. But again, putting Dom in that spot doesn't make sense.
now Randy versus Dom. I mean, I don't think yeah, Randy versus Dom. I mean, I don't know. You could put to try and put the IC title on Dom. I mean, on Randy. I mean, I don't know, but
Now that one there, Jacob Fatu against Cena, that would be passing the torch to a young one, a new guy.
yeah, but okay, so where I don't know if Ray's back yet. Where I mean, to me, Jacob more than Oba, because here's the thing with me. For me,
What's up, Anthony?
hey Anthony, how's it going, buddy? Here's the thing with me with Oba. What are you going to do with him? What are you going to do with him? He beats John Cena and what? You know what I'm saying? Like I like what? What do you do with him after that? You putting him now on the, you're directing him towards him versus Cody. I mean, so we bypass all the other guys. We bypassed. I mean, even though I don't think Randy should go ahead, and I don't think Randy should um, get a title match. I don't think Randy, in my opinion, I don't think Randy should. But again, I just I don't have a problem with it. But what do you do?
Yeah, I agree. If you
Yeah,
use him,
I get it. But again, if you have Obafemi go there, Obafemi beats John Cena.
and then what goes back down to NXT
Right.
would make no sense.
The only way you do it is this. The only way it works is very, very simple. And I don't care. People will say, but again, to me, you're taking a guy who has not been on the main roster, not saying he's not good. Don't know if he's ready to be up at that point, though. The only way it works is that if he would have do that, beat John Cena, go into the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and then get a title shot at WrestleMania. That's the only trajectory, because if you have him go out there and there's a passing of the torch per se, or Cena putting over a younger guy, it only works if the younger guy then goes on to other stuff.
That's why it makes me think if that Jacob would make more sense than Oba. And I was looking at Rey Mysterio for Lockin. According, he was cleared to return to action in August. I guess they have a plan. WWE is playing a major role for him upon his return, but they are taking it slow. So I'm sure that probably has to do something with Dominic, I would imagine. It's the only thing that makes sense there. Him and his son, maybe he turns his son back face. I don't know. But Jacob's the only one that makes sense there because he's already on the main roster. He's got a good backing. And him winning a Royal Rumble does sound plausible. Maybe he goes to fight for the title, doesn't win it, but gives him that push to keep going that way.
Yeah, like I said, I don't,
if that's how they go.
Yeah. Breaker would be a good one too. I mean,
yeah,
Breaker,
but I think you will see. I don't know if it'll be before that or not, but you're going to see a Lesnar Breaker match at some point.
That's a tough one. That's a tough match because what are you doing with Brock Lesnar? If you brought him back and you had him squash Cena, you can't. I hate to say, I don't want to say you can't because you can, but you would think you would not have him turn around and then lose to Braun Breaker.
Not initially, no.
But then if you have Lesnar come out and beat Breaker, what does that do? That might be it might, I mean, unless it causes a rift in the vision, which then somehow turns a Breaker to where Breaker then, you know, Breaker then now, hey, you guys weren't there for me. You let this guy beat the crap out of me. I'm going to show you. I'm telling you, I'm the future of wrestling, not you, Seth. And you start a little something there.
I mean, it kind of feels like that's how they're going, because if that poster we saw is true, where Braun or Lesnar joins the division, let's say, they have the War Games match, and let's say Braun's going to spear somebody and they move out of the way and he spears Lesnar. Now Lesnar's going to be pissed. You're going to want that match with Braun. And that kind of starts the whole breakup of the division, if that's like they're not planning on the division being something super long term. And I can't see that because it's boring. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. But I think, I don't know. Maybe it's the maybe it is the long term, or the short term, storytelling.
At the right amount of money, he would. I think
that's just it. I don't think a Lesnar Breaker is a long match.
No.
I think they just go and they beat the hell out of each other, and it's something that, goes a little quick.
Right. Right. For that, yeah, I'm pretty sure if they did this War Games, Lesnar would probably be the last one in the match.
Yeah. If you had War Games. Oh, I see what you're saying. Meaning War Games, he wouldn't be able to last that long. I got you. Yeah. You're right.
I think you would see, if that's the case, you would see Cena come in and then Lesnar come in. Those would be the last two, just because of their states. I don't see John starting it. I don't see Brock starting it.
Yeah,
I don't know. To throw a loop in, Roman Reigns could be Cena's last match as well. There's been talk of that.
I personally think that would be the one. That is more of a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
That to me, that's more of a passing. Because but then you could say, hey, what about Cody? I don't think so. But
I think he kind of already did that with Cody, sort of, in the last match where he lost the belt. True. I think that kind of was that there. But again, we don't know.
Only time will tell. I mean, you think about it, right? Today's the 25th, 24th.
And that would be a good surprise opponent too.
Yeah.
John standing in the ring and you hear the OTC music.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. I think that would definitely be a really good one. I mean, the funny thing, we have 11 weeks left of John Cena, basically.
Yeah.
We have five more appearances.
Actual appearances, and
I think hopefully it's 5 matches.
I don't think so. I think you're going to see out of the 5, maybe 2 matches. The others all going to be talk and hyping up a storyline.
That can't be true.
He's got to hype up a storyline at some point.
But what I'm saying, but it can't only be 2 matches because we already know one against AJ Styles.
And then the last one in December.
So then he's not part of War Games.
There's a possibility that he's not, maybe. I mean, there is always that possibility. That
True, there is no reason to pass the torch because when he shows up, everything goes. Everything. I mean, it. You know, he is the needle mover for WWE right now.
Yeah.
You know, from that
he
standpoint.
does wrestle every 2 months. However, I just think that might be the way they go with it because he has said that he does not plan to stop wrestling anytime soon. Roman Reigns. So maybe after this movie thing gets through, he doesn't do any movies for a year or two, maybe. I don't know. Should be interesting, though, coming up. All right, so he gets 3 matches left out of the 5. He might get – maybe one's not a match. Maybe whoever he's trying to build up against comes in the ring and they, one takes the other one out for that week. Like it always happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just man, it's just so it's I think I think we just have to look at it from a standpoint of just it's we don't know what any of it could be. As far we only really know one. We know Styles, and then somehow at some point in time as we get closer to Boston, we'll find out there. Like I don't know, is there anybody else on the roster from the Massachusetts area?
Not that I know of.
Like he could have a match against. I'm not sure, right? I mean, that might be the only thing there, and then obviously he's gonna wrestle in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's definitely wrestling there.
Maybe that's where him and I don't know. Would that be that could be a Rock and Cena match there, being Madison Square Garden. Or
but again,
could be another Brock and him for all we know.
It's Raw.
Yeah. So I was looking at where Roman was at, and obviously filming, but there's future plans following this return. WWE has focused on building an enormous storyline for Reigns, potentially altering the company's landscape. So that should be interesting. Now, Brooklyn Brawler is a little old.
I'll tell you one thing though. So he's on X a lot, and X has these things which are spaces, which is basically like a giant conference call. Where people get on, they join a space, they have conference call, and you can post certain things, stuff like that. He's in a bunch of them, and I follow him because I just thought he was a great character from back when I started watching, and he's in a bunch of those spaces talking about stuff and just all different kinds of things, all positive talk and everything like that, like not negative talk and stuff. Kind of telling more of like his story of, hey, I should have been nothing, but I became something, and even though I wasn't, a big superstar, people knew, what I'm saying, and my accomplishments, of what I went through, all the you're never, and look what I wound up, doing. Again, it's not like he went ahead and, won a whole bunch, but
right.
he was a great jobber. Him and Johnny Rods, man, were 2 great jobbers. And Barry Horowitz.
You bring back the Brawler. Why not just bring back RVD? Or you know what? Cena has not fought Flair one-on-one. Let's do it.
Stop it. You're ridiculous.
I mean, he'd kill Rick, but hey.
You can't kill what's already dead.
I wonder what a Sting Cena fight would have been like. That would have been interesting. Not to be able to see it, but
Well, hey, what would Sting Undertaker have been?
yeah, that's true. I wanted to see that one.
Crow Sting versus Undertaker. That would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But who knows, man? Who knows? We will see.
We do not know
We'll,
what the future holds.
we'll just have to, wait and see what becomes of it to find out. I don't really have, again, to me, I don't have any expectations that, I think, honestly, I think the best thing would be kind of your idea. And I think maybe it should be the rest of the way through where it's, what, have Triple H come out and, like, hey, you know what? When Cena comes out, have his music hit, for Boston and stuff. And be like, you know what, John? You said you had you weren't telling us who your matches were going to be against. Well, how about this guy? And some music hits, and that's who he goes against, that night. No build up, no nothing,
That would work.
let it be. And
I
I
mean,
think
you don't bring like a John Henry in or whatever his name is.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Where is he? Ha! He didn't appear.
Like they did with Randy. That would just.
Yeah, and I didn't think Taker would be that way, to be honest with you.
I kind of did towards the end there, but
I didn't think he would, but it is what it is. But I think that would be the big thing. And then again, that last match, again, what Chuck is saying, it does make sense. But if all of a sudden, you had Cena, his music hits, he comes out, and then you hit Gunther's music, have it be a good match. Again, I know John won't do it because I know John is a more of a, I think he's a, more of a traditionalist. But I would like to see him win his last match. I would like to see him go out with the W. I know it won't happen, but to me, if you really want to give someone, again, I'm not saying, the issue you have is that Gunther really necessarily wouldn't need it that much, but it would put him back in a good place if you have him come back. Look what I've done. I've retired 2 people this year. I retired the GOAT. It kind of gets him up to that next level. I don't know because I don't necessarily, you could put him on SmackDown. He could go, and then he could at least start to do something with Cody, because but who knows what they'll do. I mean,
I could see
they
it
ruin these guys
possibly.
anyway. They ruin any kind of story, any potential storyline anyway.
You could have it where either Boston or Madison Square Garden, they do like you said. He comes out, and I'm wrestling, but I don't know who I'm wrestling tonight. And Gunther's music happens to hit. Cena beats him there, but loses his last match to him.
I don't
build something in between there.
I don't think they will have any doubles matches for Cena. That's why I don't think he'll, again, could be completely wrong. Survivor Series, completely different thing.
Yeah,
but I don't think we would see, break of Lesnar, Cena. The only one that it potentially could be would be Cody. To me, that's the only one where it could be somebody that he has fought in this last year. I don't really see it being anybody that he has fought. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know why people why would you want to see Cena against Randy again? You want to see Cena against Lesnar again? Why? I mean, you almost can't have Cena go ahead and win. You almost have to have him get squashed again. And who I don't think there's an appetite for that.
No.
So
I was looking to see if they mentioned anything else, but no, those are all that. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the Crown Jewel, the 2 Raws, Survivor Series, and Saturday night. That's it.
That's it. He's down 5. So
Let's see who they say might fight. Who might Cena fight? So they list Gunther, Rhodes, Rollins, Uso, and The Rock are the 3. I don't
Gunther,
see
Uso,
Cody, and The Rock.
You said 4. You said Uso.
Hang on, let me double check that. Go to here. Give me a second here.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad. I mean, in Boston, give an upcomer that no one really knows about. A local Boston guy. An independent,
Kind of like how he started out.
an independent guy and stuff like that. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest with you, Larkin, for Boston. I don't think that would go over well at Madison Square Garden, but in his hometown and stuff, I think those people would be okay with it. I think the people, but I don't think people would be okay with it because what those ticket prices are going to be.
So, according to Google, it is rumored that Gunther is currently planned as John's final opponent.
Yeah.
This potential matchup would see Gunther facing Cena in Boston, which Cena's hometown. Sources suggest this mirrors the send-off for Goldberg, who was also defeated by Gunther in his final match in his hometown. If these plans hold, that's not going to be where he has his last match anymore.
Right, because it switched to DC because Boston wouldn't pay enough money to TKO. Boston was only willing to pay, I think, like $5 million, and I think DC went $10 million or $15 million. Not only are they getting money from Netflix, they're also going ahead and now getting money from the city. On top of however the ticket sales stuff go.
I mean, I think it would be awesome if he did face somebody like himself when he first came in for that ruthless aggression against Kurt. That would be a kind of a complete setting, like full circle deal, but I doubt it. Like I said, I think Gunther or Roman are going to be actually it, possibly The Rock, but if it's Roman, The Rock's going to be involved, so at some point, probably. I don't know. We shall see, like you said.
Yep.
We can predict all we want until it happens. We don't know.
Clueless.
I think WWE's clueless as well. Because the only match we have Friday night right now is the triple threat, right? I don't know of anything else. It's all going to have to be on the fly, basically.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Aaron Judge 50 and 58. Didn't Judge hit 51 also? Did Judge hit 2 home runs tonight? Yep, Judge hit 2. He hit 50 and he hit 51. So. Well, all right, everybody. Hey, thanks a lot for hanging out.
Yes. Sorry we didn't
appreciated.
Baseball like we were going to, but
yeah.
We can do it next week, folks.
Next week will be more baseball for sure because we'll be in the playoffs then.
Baseball, football.
Yep. So thanks a lot, everybody. Much appreciated. Yeah. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy football. Enjoy. Well, I don't mean to say anything, Jim, but that means then the box score on ESPN is wrong because it says that he hit 1 off of Cannon and 1 off of Boozer, and he has a total of 51 now. So, not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is ESPN is wrong. But thanks a lot, everybody. Much appreciated. Catch you next week.
Have a good one.